Mhm. Greetings. My name is Karen,
And I'm Barry.
and the feeling has been arising recently to tell you a little more about our work and about the way that we, in particular, approach the process of awakening. Number one, we do see awakening as a process for most human beings. It may happen suddenly. These blessings do occur for some of us. And what we've observed over our work with people for a few decades now is that for most of us, this is an ongoing process. And what do we mean by that? What is the process that we are facilitating? Well, the way we would describe it is that we are here to assist awakening souls to get in touch with the core of their being, the divine spark that lives within every one of us as our true self. And that generally does not happen and stay completely awake in one experience. And so, what we really love more than anything is to walk alongside awakening souls over time, whatever period of time feels appropriate for each person that we work with. We don't have any set rhythm with that, any set schedule. We don't have particular timetables that we work with. All of that is determined by the individual soul that we are working with.
There's the word awakening is something it's been used broadly. And it's something that covers a lot of different paths. And a lot of what people talk about with instantaneous awakenings is really an experience in the head soul center, Cave of Brahman up here, where consciousness perceives the oneness of everything at the level of consciousness. In other words, everything is just a projection of consciousness or mind. And that can happen for some people fairly quickly. There's not a realization of who we really are, though, in that. It's just one dimension of the process of awakening, as we call it. And the real awakening that we are about is about realizing your true eternal self. Within creation, that you are a divine being. You're a divine being of light, love, and life. And there is a place within you where that's focused even while it exists way beyond this body or this form. And to come into communion with that and experience it and realize the truth that you're not what you see in the mirror, you're not this physical presence, that you're something that's eternal and one with the divine is really the pivotal experience that we're hoping to bring people into communion with. Because once you realize that, everything changes. You know through direct experience that you are an eternal divine being, that lives inside of you as you. And that is completely changes the ground of everything.
Yeah, most human beings are focalized in their consciousness up here in the head, in the in the mind. And as one of our teachers loved to say, the process that we're talking about is one of coming out of the office and into the cathedral, into the core of our true being, into the place that is beyond thought. It's beyond making decisions. It's beyond figuring things out. It's a place of knowing. And when the more we rest our awareness in this space, deep in the core of ourselves, the more we come into the divine knowing that is unique to us, the knowing that comes directly from infinite intelligence, infinite awareness, and infinite love. So as we rest our awareness much more, as we live much more fully from the soul that we are, we're able to tap into that knowing in a moment, at a moment's notice. We don't have to think about things. We don't have to ruminate over them. We don't have to obsess over them, all of which the mind does as a way of life. It's just what mind does. It generates thoughts and then it gets busy with those thoughts. As we rest in the soul and as our awareness drops down and is able to land and stabilize in the soul lotus or the soul space, we find that our life becomes more and more effortless. We know what we need to know on a need to know basis. When we need to know it, the information is there. Ahead of time, we may not have any idea. But when we are in the moment, in that situation, the awareness of what the next step forward is just comes to us effortlessly and easily.
It's because that communication is coming from the source of all that is connected to everything, past, present, future, and all time, all dimensions. We are directly a projection of that. And that might be just a moment to talk about that. What this is a drop, a holographic fractal essence of God, the source, the one. We're a projection of that. And when we get in contact with that drop that we are of the ocean of God, we also realize that the ocean of God is we're a drop of that, but we're also the totality of the ocean in this drop. So we know everything. We're in the state of knowing of what God knows is relevant to our journey. Every moment, we just know it. There's no thought. There's no conceptualization. It's just a pure revelation of truth, reality in the moment. And that's the way beyond karma and distortion, because we're acting in accordance, in oneness with all of life. When we act from here, we can't do anything that's going to harm or damage or be out of alignment with anything that is. It's the only way that we have found to get to that place.
Because this place is not separate from anything else in the universes. This, this divine spark that we are is inextricably unified with every other divine spark in every other being that exists in all of time and space. And so as we live from this space within us, we are living in concert with every other aspect of creation. And that is powerful beyond words. We can't get there from here. It's not going to happen. We can't solve mind with mind. And even the most exalted experiences of opening the consciousness in the head soul center are not going to give us that embodied sense of our own truth, our own awareness of love, our own awareness of life that we receive as we rest in this space.
Yet we're here to be creative, embodied beings that are a manifestation of that one. And everything that one is what we are. And in this space, as that unfolds, as that soul lotus opens, all the divine qualities and capacities that we think of as the holy divinity that God is start to come out of us. They start to unfold into our being. One of the first ones that people experience is just this peace. It's a peace that, as Jesus said, passeth all understanding. It's in the middle of this turbulent, chaotic world that we often find ourselves in, where at a human level, there's a lot of reason not to be peaceful. Okay, there's things going on here that are difficult. There's things going on here that don't feel righteous or holy or divine, for sure. We all experience it all the time. But this place is a peace that can't be disturbed by any of that. It's the only way we'll ever find that peace in this body, on this earth. It's a place where, as it unfolds, we experience what love really is. Not infatuation, not romance, not affection, but a love that is the fabric of everything. A love that can help us know that despite appearances, love is all that is. It's working in everything. these are the kind of realizations, and this is really a path of realizing our true eternal divine self and all that it is. These realizations are what bring us to the point where we can truly be agencies of divinity on this planet, which is what's asked, what's needed at this time. There's a truthful saying that the out there is nothing more than a holographic projection of what's inside. It's called the law of attraction. We've all read it, right? Well, it's true because there is nothing out there that's not a projection from within us. So no matter how hard we try to be good people or whatever, if what's inside of us is still based in human concept and separation, the world's not going to change. It can't. It's impossible. We're not going to figure a way through that. We're not going to techno our way out of this. It's still the mind, the ego mind, that's still creating it. But the divine ones, like Krishna, Zoroaster, Lao Tzu, Christ, the Buddhas, they showed us what happens when a being walks unified with the divinity that they are. The world changes. And now's a time we call the second coming, the coming of the Kalki avatar, the Maitreya Buddha, the Shayashant, and all these different paths say it's that time. Well, we are that. It's to come through individual souls like you and me. And this is the way that happens. As more of us experience and reveal that divinity and live it, the world around us is simply going to change to mirror that.
As our frequencies go up from letting our awareness rest in the soul space and letting everything in our outer world, all of our action, all of our expression, come from there in more and more moments, we automatically are raising our own frequency. And as our frequency goes up, that affects everything in creation. We can look out there and think that the way to respond to it is to protest what's happening, to act against it, to fight it, to engage with it in some kind of outer way. But as we've all heard for decades, what we resist persists. It does not go away. It does not up level. If we engage with an issue at the level of the issue, we are only adding energy to that level of vibration. We're not lifting anything by our participation. Whereas if we sit in our own soul space, go in and ask, what can I bring to this situation? Then we are told inwardly. Maybe we're told something like, bring love to it. Just surround it with love. Surround it with light, the light of infinite knowing that we are all one being, that anything other than that is a cry for help. Anything other than that is not an expression of soul. It's an expression of forgetting who and what we really are. And so every moment that we can live from the depth of ourselves, the truth of ourselves, the yes of ourselves, of our divine selves, the entire vibration of the universe is being raised.
And as that occurs, we literally raise out of the frequency band where all these other distortions that only exist in this illusion of separation, where we can see somebody out there that is causing us to be fearful or attacking us or doing these things. We rise above it, and that's the way this planet is going to shift. We'll literally lift up from the point where those kinds of frequencies of being are going to fall away. They can't exist at these higher levels. There's no the vibratory level is such they can't be there. That's the way this is going to happen. It's a spiritual power that raises everything. It's not a force that tries to change things through confronting, breaking apart. It never worked. Like Jesus said, resist not evil. And it was a great teaching in that. It's to be with it but take it to rise to a different frequency, not denying it's there, not separating from anything, literally lifting the whole thing through our own awareness, our own state of being.
Yeah, the more we rest here, the more we realize every being out there is expressing their particular level of soul evolution and soul awareness. And they can only do what they can do at this point in their journey. And so, one beautiful way we can contribute to the raising of frequency for the whole is to pray that they awaken, not to denounce them, not to vent hatred toward them, not to do all the things that the human in us might just want to do as a knee-jerk reaction when we see pain and suffering, when we see injustice, when we see unkindness, when we see things that look ridiculous or chaotic. Pray, may they awaken. May we all awaken, because we're right in there with them. Not one of us is totally awake. Not one of us lives every single moment from the divine core of our being. But that's where it's all headed. And we can pray for each other all the time. That praying can become a reaction of its own, a positive reaction, whenever we see injustice or suffering or somebody acting from less than their true self. May they awaken. May it get easier for that being.
And no matter how difficult it is to witness their actions, it's to remember beneath it all, these beings are suffering deeply.
Yeah.
They couldn't be functioning the way they are unless in their minds and their heart there's tremendous pain, separation, and suffering. They're disconnected from who they are, or they couldn't be acting that way.
Right. A Course in Miracles says it so beautifully, and I'll paraphrase here. Everything is either an expression of love or a cry for help. If we could all remember that one as a way of being, we would see life and see one another and even see ourselves so much differently. In every moment, everything we're expressing is either an expression of love, an expression of who we really are, and that we're able to see what's happening out there and these other beings that are in my field right now from that space, or what we're putting out is a cry for love.
You know, I think of what Jesus said on the cross, just as before his body was going to die. He forgave everything. And he spoke the words, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. And some time ago, I really got a deeper understanding of that. He really understood that only unconsciousness can cause these kinds of behaviors. In other words, when people are doing the things that we see are causing harm, they're unloving acts, they're simply asleep. They're in a trance of forgetting who they are. They know not what they do. The real them, if it was awake, they were awake to who they really are, it simply wouldn't be a possibility. So they don't know. They're unconscious. They're asleep. How can we judge somebody who's under this powerful narcotic effect of the illusion of separation? They're in a deep trance, just like somebody on a powerful drug. And that's what's going on around us.
So again, we see the news, we witness the horror. May they awaken. Father, please, Divine Mother, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. Every time we can bring that level of love and forgiveness to what we are witnessing, we are helping to lift the entire experience of life on earth. The vibration automatically goes up when love and forgiveness are present.
There's probably no more powerful antidotes for this illusion besides love and forgiveness, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
We can truly come to that in our own heart. And that means looking at all the ways that we separate and judge everything that's going on out there. And that is a very difficult path. Stephen Levine said, One said it's like opening your heart up in hell, and it is sometimes. That's path. That's the path.
And in a way, that just loops right back to the way this video began, because we are only capable of responding to what's happening in here and out there to the degree we are anchored in our true being, to the degree we remember and realize that we are a divine self here in the human experience. And so if that path or that way of being calls to you, we just invite you with everything in our own hearts and souls to reach out, connect with us, let us know how it is in your journey. And let's see together if there's a way that we can support you to go deeper and to go vaster into who you really are and why you are here at this incredibly potent time on the planet.
Karen and I have been doing this for 35 or 36 years, something like that. And one of the gifts we've been given is to really help spark that divine in you, to light that little spark into a flame so you can come into conscious communion with it. And that can really make that journey a lot easier and more expeditious for you. So yeah, feel it in your heart and soul. If this resonates, really connect with us. We're available.
What we see over time is that people that do work with us over time are experiencing a much deeper resting in the true self, a much expanded ability to know what they need to know in every moment, and especially in the crisis situations that we all come across in everyday life. Their relationships become smoother with less separation, less conflict, more ability to harmonize and come together for a joint goal or a joint purpose that they're here to realize together. All of that is available to everybody. This is not just for a special few. This is for all of us. It's time now. There's tremendous grace pouring in on the planet, and it's here to help all of us take our awakening vaster, deeper, and more inclusive of everything that hasn't yet awakened in us. So love and blessings to you
blessings to you.
along your way.
We're
If
here.
there's any way we can support you,
Yeah,
we are here.
much love.
Thank you.